Coming up on today's show, we'll break down some of the similarities, differences, what to expect between those Bandit and Wolf position designations, if there's some uncertainty there, and a lot of recruiting talk on today's show. Now, if you or someone you love has been affected by the Bandit Wolf position name change, then share today's video to help explain it to them. Some good images from my buddy Clint Lamb over at On3, and some other insight as well, all coming up on today's show. Now, among the differences that are most noteworthy between what Kane Wommack will be doing moving forward on defense and what the Nick Saban defense had done more frequently is the position groups called Bandit, Wolf, and Husky. The differences aren't that much, but they are still noteworthy in what they ask out of players, how they're utilized. So first, when facing your common 11 personnel receiver grouping, this is what that 3-4 base defense looked like for Alabama. The star role was that he's kind of a nickel corner, he's kind of a safety linebacker hybrid. You'll see other terms for it. Overhang is a popular one for it as well, at least to an extent. Mike and Will were your middle linebackers. Then you had that outside linebacker, think of that typical 3-4 stand-up edge rusher. And then that defensive end who still did a lot of outside pass rushing stuff for you, a nose guard, defensive tackle. Now, cornerback, safety, all kind of stay the same. They also changed strong safety to rover in the Wommack defense. That's literally just potato. There's no actual real change there. Husky is still very similar to the star. It's not that different either in terms of what they asked those guys to do. Now, Wolf and Bandit, a little bit different. Wolf is even more of an outside linebacker and sometimes kind of becoming almost an off-ball linebacker in some situations, depending on how the field and boundary sides are set and what the formation stack ends up being. Bandit still kind of plays that defensive end, edge rusher hybrid role that so many good players have come through and had success with at Alabama. Now, that's the 4-2-5, kind of the base defense look, right? Which, if you think of Husky as a nickel, it's no different than how NFL teams are doing it these days. You got kind of that farther outside defensive end, a little bit tighter on the left side. You can play around with where the Husky goes, with where the slot and tight end are, et cetera. But you're having the Wolf kind of help out that tight end spot, kind of chipping if needed at times too. The three-man front that you'll sometimes see Kane Wommack going to features some more adjustments from the Wolf side. Further out, really kind of almost playing a true off-ball linebacker role. And this is why I don't love some of those three-man looks when you're still trying to force feed into linebackers in a three-man base. Like, you're kind of making that Wolf from an edge rusher into an off-ball slot player. And that's where I don't love that quite as much. Those are two positions this team will have to fill. At their core, they do still kind of fit in more into edge rusher roles, but that Bandit guy is almost more of a base defensive end sometimes than it is a true, edge player. You might even see some more bulky defensive ends get some run there at the Bandit position. Does seem like Keeley is primed to take over that Bandit role, and Robinson then becomes the front runner at the Wolf position. Now, Kane Wommack has also had some big-time praise for Koht as things have developed throughout this preseason. Spring, I should say. He redshirted back in 2021, played all of 18 snaps in 2023. It's been a slow burn development for him, but there is the opportunity for playing time in a new scheme, in a new defense with a new coaching staff. Here's what Kane Wommack said about Keon. I've been pleased with him. I think athletically, he's a freak. He does some things the way he can bend off an edge, his explosive ability. He plays an extremely high motor right now, and he's grasping what we're doing from a schematic standpoint. You see everybody making mistakes, but you see guys correcting things from one day to the next. If he can continue to do that, I like his trajectory right now. It's a very different coaching staff, going from Nick Saban, one of the greatest defensive coaches ever, to Kane Wommack in charge. Are you excited, though, about this new defense? Y for yes, N for no. It's the pinned comment. The ad comes on YouTube. Take advantage of it and go vote. Now, Yonce Pierre is also appearing to be in the mix at the Wolf position in terms of stepping up there. Christian Robinson had this to say on Pierre, the linebackers coach, mind you. He's got a great get-off. He's got great pass rushing ability. What I've been talking to him about is with great ability, how can we continue to expand what we know? He spent a year learning a defense, so now we have to relearn some things in some different terms. I'm proud of what he's doing. Look, Pierre is a very talented recruit. Shocker, he went to Alabama, right? It's not like they're getting a bunch of bums for the Crimson Tide. 5-star in 2023, 30th ranked overall player, number 4 edge as well. I think the defensive change does allow, plus the losses you sustained, for more opportunities and even some not quite positionless football, but being asked to do a wide variety of things at those, especially at the Wolf position. It's why they're recruiting versatile linebackers. You got to be able to play in space, not just put hand in the dirt going after the quarterback, right? Being able to spot drop, being able to hold up in coverage, not be a liability there. That's not easy. That's why I don't always love sometimes the way that stuff gets deployed. However, the linebacker commits so far for 2025 certainly would allow Alabama to have some versatility and build that, I'll call it the spine, which Wolf isn't really the spine of your defense, but I digress. The middle tier, how about that, of your defense, have some positional and versatility. Position flex and some versatility, excuse me. So what is your confidence level in Kane Wommack as Alabama's defensive coordinator? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. It's 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. Coming up next, a lot more recruiting visits to break down and cover as things continue to head in a positive direction with Keon DeBoer and his first real recruiting class going on. But first, today's show is made possible by Game Time. Game Time is the place for last-minute tickets to your next big event, whether that is going to an MLB game, you're going to try to catch a Braves game potentially. Wherever you are going, if not a sporting event, maybe you're not a baseball guy, maybe there's not any basketball by you, concerts, comedy, theater, whatever it is, Game Time has you covered. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices and views from your seat, and their best price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. When you use promo code CHATSPORTS, that's a new promo code, by the way, you'll get $20 off your first purchase. You can find some cheap events, even some baseball games. Maybe not so much for the Braves, at least early on, but there are cheap events that'll cover off a good portion with that promo code. $20 off your first purchase with promo code CHATSPORTS. That link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. Go to GameTime.co, download the app, create your account, and then use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today for last-minute tickets, lowest price, and guaranteed. A couple offensive linemen visiting here on Tuesday. This is today for the Crimson Tide. Michael Carolla and Caden Strayhorn. That feels almost like a safety name, though. Maybe it's because it kind of sounds like Jason Sehorn, but I digress there. No 2025 offensive line commits yet for the Crimson Tide, although, hey, you're going to get Caden Proctor back, so you suddenly feel better about that, don't you? At least in theory you will. Who knows? That's been a whirlwind. The lack of O-line commits will be addressed. I feel confident in that one. Again, it's 2025, so some of the recruiting stuff's not kind of updated, frankly. On3 has Carroll as the number 3 interior offensive lineman in the class of 2025. He was number 15 on 24/7 Sports Composite. He's from Pennsylvania, by the way. Strayhorn is 21 from Florida. He plays for IMG Academy. Some other recruiting visitors coming on Thursday for the Crimson Tide. Lagonza Howard, that's a fun name for a safety, 113 overall. Andrew Olish, a 4-star tight end. Derek Meadows, a 4-star wide receiver. You can kind of see how lanky and tall he looks in that photo, by the way. Jacob Falk, a 4-star edge rusher, just to the top 100. And Malachi Goodman, a 3-star, another version of the offensive line interior edition. Friday visitors, Joshua Sharma, the 3-star defensive lineman, and 4-star linebacker Elijah Barnes. Let me make sure I got my notes right here. 420, nice for Sharma. D lineman from California. Barnes is into the top 100, a linebacker, another one from Texas. I think you'll see a lot of blend between that kind of that Wolf and inside linebacker role. That's all going to blend together for Kane Wommack. Do want to go into Dejon Lee. His visit finished up here with the Crimson Tide. This is a noteworthy prospect, the number 1 player in the state of California, Number 23 overall, the number 5 ranked cornerback. This would be a significant get, as he made a comment about Courtney Morgan to On3, saying, quote, "I've got the best relationship with Courtney Morgan from Washington. We already had a relationship for a long time. He's a huge guy in the Bama pursuit. I talk with him most out of all of them. If I go there, it would be a lot of him and a lot of Coach Mo," meaning Coach Mo linguist. Both of them. He always keeps it real no matter what. He talks to me a lot too. That's really what I like about him. Couple notes here. Lee's pretty long for a corner, which I think becomes more and more important as there's some blending of the college and NFL games these days. The length helps recover in terms of getting beat. You can throw your hands, like, you do it right. You read those receivers' eyes and their hands, and when it starts to go up, your hands go up, and that length makes it tougher. Reduces the window for a quarterback to throw into. He's able to play downhill. The huddle tape, this is all via producer Chris, so give him the credit, not me. Big hits, reads the quarterback eyes, anticipates pretty well. Kind of sounds like a safety a little bit there, which I think is a good thing for a corner. Effort plays are certainly there on film. He's not gonna give up and be I'm the 5-star. I don't have to go chase down somebody. When it comes to the recruiting class for the Crimson Tide, they are now number 6 following the Mets commitment that happened. We did the story on it as promised earlier this weekend or week, whatever day it was there. It all blends together for me, Sunday. So if you haven't already, look, we've got more coverage for you coming. Recruiting, spring ball, etc. Don't miss out. Hit that sub button right now.